Oh, we're going to be live. Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how they can personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy.
Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how they can personally and directly participate in space exploration,
I know what's going
science. On. Sorry, that was my bad. I fixed it.
All right. Open in two windows, huh?
I'm sorry. Yes. So the alternative is we show you how to navigate space. We're here Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern time, and 1 p.m. Saturday in Hong Kong. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. Thanks so much for joining us.
Tonight's topic is MicroObservatory. Basically, it's real robotic telescopes that you command. And we've got some pretty quiet nights this week, so that section will be fairly short after she's done.
Hi, Christina. Jared, too. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, so thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate that. And the topic, like Jeff said, was MicroObservatory, and this is where you can operate ground-based networked robotic telescopes. So, hi, Michael. He's here with us too from Hong Kong. All right, I'm going to read you just this little bit, and then I'll show you exactly where I went and what I did. NASA space science researchers control some of the world's most sophisticated space probes and orbiting telescopes to get amazing images of objects in space. Now, you can join them by operating your own ground-based micro-observatories. They're real robotic telescopes that you command through this website. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that website now. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Brenda.
Thanks so much for joining us. All right, here, if you do a basic search for MicroObservatory, this is the page you will get. And they talk about a number of different things, which I didn't really know about. And this is the one right here, this Observing with NASA MicroObservatory for Everyone. And a couple of weeks ago, we actually talked about using that same site for processing images. But I'll get into that a little bit later on too. The website, if you click on this, the website that it takes you to is this. And if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, you remember seeing this, but we didn't really use this aspect of it. I just played around with it a little bit. It was a lot easier than I expected. I started with this control telescope in the big circle here, and it took me to this page over here. And it shows you right there the process. You choose your target, you adjust your settings, you provide your information like your email address, and hit the submit button. And it was super easy. I couldn't believe it. The object that I tried to experiment with this and play with a little bit was the Pleiades. It is my favorite. Of course, it is my favorite star cluster. And there are a lot more things under this. This is just a screenshot of one page on this site right here. But there are a lot more objects that you can choose from. It goes on for at least another page, maybe a page and a half. All right, so that takes you to the adjustments, adjusting settings.
Hi, Cliff.
Hey, all right. Oh, I'm so glad you could join us, Cliff. So, it tells you what you picked and where it is and where you can find it, how far away it is, that kind of thing. And in the case of the Pleiades, you didn't have as many choices as some things possibly. In this case, the field of view, they said you really want to keep it a wide field of view, and you click on the little radio button here. And I actually picked 30 seconds for the exposure time, and a little thing came up and it said, oh, that's probably not optimal for this object. So I clicked on 60 seconds, and another little flag came up and said, yeah, this is the optimized a time amount for this particular object, and no filter. In this case, the Pleiades didn't have a filter either. I suspect that some of the other things would in fact have other choices in filter selection and field of view, but that's certainly something you can play with. And then you go to the bottom of this page, you click on the continue button, and it takes you to the next step, which is put in your email address. And they have a couple of questions, your age and your gender, that kind of thing. And for me, it was the very first time I used this. But yeah, then you just hit the submit button, and then they tell you Well, look for an email with your image, like tomorrow or the next day. It was really, really easy. And gosh, this is one of the most fun things I've done with astronomy in a long time. It was just that simple to click on the buttons, and then there's all kinds of things you can do with it after that. Anything in orange here is a clickable link. So you can, take more images, you have other projects and activities, and, just tons and tons of different ways to interact and engage with this website. All right, so let's see. All right, here we go. The next day, I get my email with the image included with it. And they talk to you about, the things you can do with it. You can access your image or view the information on the telescope settings and more. And I didn't really delve into it terrifically. I just wanted to make sure that you got kind of the basic information and how to use it. And absolutely, if you want to play with a network of telescopes like this, I highly recommend doing this. So what I did was I clicked on the Access Your Image of Pleiades, and that went over to this page. So there's a few things you can do with this page as well. You can click on the information, you can follow the link to the image itself, there is an image directory, and you can use the software that's included with this site. And that's the one we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, here's my image of the Pleiades. And I actually did go and click on, let's see, what did I click on here? I clicked on the information on this image for this next part. And they tell you, the object, and the telescope's name was Annie. I thought that was really cute. When you took it, the start time of the exposure, how long. And, you could actually go and find the latitude and longitude for this telescope they called Annie, and see where it is in the world. I think it's in Massachusetts because we looked
It says town is Cambridge.
Cambridge. It's in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
And state is CA is MA. So
yeah, Massachusetts, right. So yeah, I mean, you could keep going with this stuff. There's a ton of information here. And they talked about the format. And so this is the flexible image transport system. It's a special high quality telescope image format that astronomers use, and you can read more there. So let's see what was next. Yes, I went to the image directory, and I'm thinking, well, maybe my photo, the picture I asked for is in this list. Well, you pick the date range here and the object. There are, with a little drop down here, you can see a whole bunch of different things. And lo and behold, there's my image. See, there's the file name. And you can actually click on that, and this the software to use to process the image. This is just one of the most fun things, like I said. And let's see, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I went and played with the image. So yeah, if you recall, a couple weeks ago we were in here and we showed it, and it tells you all these different things. When you first go there, all these little pop-ups will describe each of these areas and what you can do with it. So here's the way my image showed up in this software right off the bat, in this tool. And I just play with it a little tiny bit just to see what I could see. And this is the one I kind of got a screenshot of. I thought it was really neat. It's actually called Rust. Isn't that interesting?
Well, it looks like it needs to be done on black felt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be really fun, actually. But
like those, posters that you used to get in the 70s.
I wonder if blacklight will work on it. The one thing I would say about this is, as I was going, I was like, oh, wait, I want to go back. But there's no, undo. So if there ever was one like that, I think it would enhance the usefulness of this particular tool. But I think that's my last one. Yep. And I just want to say to you that this was, so simple and so fun. I really feel like I could get addicted to this. Yeah, did you have a comment too? Did somebody have a question?
Oh, Cliff just said, I'll show it again. Wow, that's fantastic, and he'll check it out.
Oh yeah, and I know Cliff has taken pictures before. I would love to know more about what Cliff did. I don't think he used this particular tool if he's telling me he's going to check it out. But yeah, I think that there's lots of ways that you could put this to use. You might want to take a picture of the same thing every night, or maybe a couple of things. And I think you can compare the different telescopes, because let me go back to this one here. Yeah, let's show that again. So if you see the names, see Annie's here. There's a Donald and a Ben and Ed. Maybe you'll get pictures from the different telescopes, and you can kind of compare and contrast and see what they look like. Or maybe you could even come up with some kind of sequence of your own, or some kind of experiments involving this network of telescopes for yourself. I think the possibilities are really endless there. But yeah, if you have some ideas, I would love to hear about that. And hey, maybe we could find some fun ways to put this to use in the future.
Oh, me.
Yes, you.
Okay.
I'll let you talk now.
Yeah. Finally. What you can see in the night sky this week, including February 19th through February 26th. The moon is 8 days old tonight. And tonight is the first quarter moon.
First quarter moon, yep.
Which kind of makes sense given how old it is. The full moon is on February 27th, so not this month, or not this week, just after next week's show.
Yep.
Mars is still high in the sky. Several spacecraft have arrived at Mars, and Perseverance actually made it again.
Landed on the surface of
Yep.
Mars.
But China has one orbiting, and United Arab Emirates has one orbiting.
Right, yeah, and I think there was something Israel launched as well. Anybody know about that? We'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah,
because I looked for it, but I didn't find it today.
Yeah, you were thinking that there were 4.
Yeah, I think there were 4 things that were sent to Mars. Like last year. In the case of the Perseverance, it was launched I think it was last July.
And it's possible that the 4th one is just on its way.
Right, yeah.
Not all of them had the thrust to get there quickly.
Yeah, and they had different arrival dates. Like the Chinese arrived on the 10th. Perseverance landed yesterday. We actually watched a bunch of that on I guess NASA TV on YouTube kind of thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Vesta 6.3 magnitude, easily seeable with binoculars. In the tail of Leo. You have to wait for it to rise in the east, and it gets easier later in February and early March.
Right.
And it's the second largest of the asteroids, right?
Ceres is the first, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually a minor planetoid kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite round, so it didn't quite get big enough to become spherical.
Right. Yeah.
But you can see from its shape that it's almost there.
Yeah.
It's kind of potato
It's a
shaped.
planet wannabe.
Yeah. Or
And it's really a quiet week. So really, the next thing that we could see on the list was the full moon on February the 27th.
Yep.
So yeah. Go ahead.
So if someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our show with you. And speaking of that, join us again next Friday, February 26th, and we have a guest, Allison Klesman from Astronomy Magazine will be with us. And from what you say, she's going to be really interesting to talk to.
Yeah, she's a really delightful young lady and has a very, very interesting background. And she's an editor for Astronomy Magazine now. That's like really, really cool and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, we'll do more citizen sightings unless we have a guest.
Yep.
Right? Okay. You want to check one more time for questions? See if anybody else has any thoughts or, yeah, well done. Thank you very much, Cliff. Really, really appreciate you attending. I just love the questions that people ask, and we really appreciate you being here for the show. Thanks so much. Yeah, and absolutely correct. Now I'm looking at the comments for myself. Definitely check out this particular network of telescopes. It's MicroObservatory. We have the links. Let's show those again, huh?
Sure.
When you do the search, you find that one, and it takes you over to this one here, the CFA Harvard OWN index. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So if there are no more questions for tonight, we are going to see you next week.
Yeah, short show for tonight, but
That's okay, but man, it was fun, and that's a really great tool. Like I said, it's almost addicting. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool! I got a picture. I asked for a picture, and I got it. Talk about immediate gratification. Boy, it was like the next day, but that's pretty darn fast. So, all right, we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
see you, guys.
Bye.